Browns. You tell me in the comments below who scores a touchdown for the Ravens. That's talk about on so much more of this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Yes. Welcome back to episode 351 of the Purple Rain podcast. The Daryl Smith, Josh Ross, Camila Correa, Cornell Brown, Brendan Iambadejo, and most recently, Emery Jones episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Definitely looking forward to seeing when he'll be suiting up in the black and purple on game days, finding that right guard or left guard spot. But it is the Ravens Browns preview. Real quick. While it's early, it's a 4:25 game. I just learned about that 3 days ago, I think. I was fully expecting the 1 p.m. kickoff, but we're 4:25, so if you have some errands to run, Sunday afternoonish, you can do them. I see Sip Italian Films coach is in here saying, "Coach sent me. What's up? So
what up?
Just a heads up there. We will be the late window if you're into that, but you can follow us first and foremost on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. This guy right here, Instagram X Sutton Def. Me, Instagram, simply as10.prod, X, simply as10. Like I said, it's a preview episode, our second AFC North divisional game, and second against the Browns. So we could definitely, hopefully sweep them. Then it's just the Bengals and the Steelers on the way out. But this game means twice as much. We'll get into that. But I have to ask you how you're feeling. Going in 3-game winning streak. I know I'm feeling good about it. I know you're feeling good about it. But how are we doing overall?
Doing well, man. Thanks for asking. 3-game winning streak. Looking to put together a 4th win here on Sunday. I will say this, based off of what you said about this, the 4 p.m. start time. I'm not a fan, Alex. I don't know how you guys feel about it in the chat. Let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to like the video as well. But I like when the Ravens come on in the early window, right? I get to wake up. There's only a couple hours between me waking up and watching some good Ravens, Lamar Jackson led football, right? But instead, I have to wait 3 hours and watch some other games that I really don't care about, that I really can't even focus on because I'm so anxious about what's going to happen in the Ravens game later on. It's like I can hardly even enjoy it, So I like getting the Ravens W out of the win early, and then I can kind of enjoy the rest of the day, especially if the Ravens win. I can enjoy the rest of my day watching football. So it's just one of those things for me. I've never been a fan of the late window games, but I know we're always going to get a couple of them a year, maybe like 2-3 of them a year. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. They save a lot of those games for the West Coast teams anyway. So, but yeah, man, I'm doing well, and I'm ready to talk some Ravens football tonight. We've got something actually to talk about outside of the Browns preview. I mean, we've heard talks about Lamar Jackson being named overrated by, I think it was Bleacher Report. We're hearing talks about Tyler Linderbaum and whether or not that extension is going to happen. Apparently, they're not close right now. They've kind of started talks, Ravens front office and Tyler Linderbaum have, but they have not come close to getting anywhere close to a deal yet. So we'll talk about all those things, but before we do, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you are watching on YouTube as well, and if you're new here, we'd appreciate that. And then, if you're watching on X, shout out to you. Howdy to you guys. We know we have a big presence over there too, so shout out to from wherever you're watching, or if you're listening after the fact, part of the hashtag replay gang. Appreciate you too. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, salute. All right, so. And of course, here we got in the live chat, Steve Loop is in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Loop? Chris M is in the chat. What's going on, Chris? One of our members here. Big shout out to all of our members. Always, you guys see them at the top of every single episode, right? They're going to be there in the credits. We appreciate all of our Purple Rain patrons here. We truly do. Who else do we have in the chat? Let me see. TY is in here. What's going on, TY? I see Devon Johnson in there. What's going on, Devon? Big Cuz, King Blaze, Zico Kage. Lisa Ann is in the chat. That's a Purple Rain pioneer right there. RTV, Kwame, another one of our members. Shout out to our members again. The Chef. Appreciate all of you guys for coming through to this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Sound off in the live chat. Let us know you're here. And again, if you're listening after the fact and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, let us know down below in the comments that you are here with the hashtag replay gang and how you're feeling about this episode, guys. So, like we said, a couple things to get into. However, Ticker Flipper, I see you in the chat as well. What's going on, brother? But a couple things to get into. I want to start with this, Alex, and I want to get your take. I've been waiting to hear from you all day on this one. So it was this morning, I want to say, Bleacher Report. They dropped an article or something like that about the most overrated quarterbacks or something like that.
Track wise, got to put like a quarterback with a really bad contract not playing up to it. Couple
Right.
of names went in my mind, maybe like your Geno Smiths, maybe your Deshaun Watsons. I'm like, they aren't really rated. I go to one, and I see it's Lamar Jackson, and I'm like,
Oh, he was
overrated.
one? I thought he was two.
He was number one.
Oh my gosh.
He was number one. They had Lamar Jackson. A little SpongeBob throwback.
Yeah.
They had him as the most overrated quarterback, and their reasoning, by the way, is his performance in the playoffs, and he hasn't won a championship. And they said, until he wins a championship, he's going to be the most overrated. And I said, hold up. If we're going to use that as the reason why, there is a huge, ugly twin next to Lamar, and that's Josh Allen. Because for every reason you have him as overrated, it matches Josh Allen the same. Can't get past the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And can't win the big one. And they brought up, he's only been to the AFC Championship once. Yada yada yada. You're acting like he's played against different guys. It's been the same guy in the way. It's been Mahomes, and he's made it to the Super Bowl damn near every year. So it was really disingenuous, I thought, and I wasn't feeling it. Call him overrated. Like, guy has outplayed his contract. Has put up Aaron Rodgers peak numbers in a era where the defenses are very 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 athletic, and using his legs as well. He put up Aaron Rodgers passing numbers and then damn near 1,000 on the ground. That's unheard of. So to say overrated, and it was very very bad. And I had to look up the guy's name on Google to see what journalist it was, because I couldn't find him on Twitter. I couldn't find him anywhere. I did my FBI research, and
Yeah.
I found him, and yeah, just never make an article again. Never write an article. That was not it.
And you know what? Like, I think that, because you said that the top five, it didn't have a Joe Burrow in it, right? It didn't have a Josh Allen in it. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is not going to be anywhere near that list. So I think that they had to kind of, at least for like shock value, they had to put one of like the what you would call like the four horsemen, right? The four best quarterbacks in the league. They had to put one of those elite guys in that list just to kind of give the article some flair, right? And from that perspective, look, I get it, right? And the argument that they're probably going to use is like, yeah, Josh Allen may not have beaten Mahomes, but in the playoffs, but Lamar Jackson has not beaten Allen or Mahomes, right? Like that's a thing, which I can totally understand. I get that. However, at the same time, I would look at a Joe Burrow. As much as I love Joe Burrow, he's not doing what Lamar Jackson is doing in terms of value that he brings to an offense. He's just not. You can look at what's happening when Joe Burrow is not on the field. You've got Joe Flacco. The results are damn near the same offensively, right? Offensively. But you see, when Lamar Jackson is not available for the Ravens, it is a complete drop off. There's a complete drop off in offensive production. And if you're thinking about that, like, there's no way that you could even ponder putting Lamar Jackson on a list saying that he's one of the more overrated quarterbacks, or the most, because I didn't know he was number one until you just told me, the most overrated quarterback in the league. It's asinine. It's irresponsible as a journalist as well. Let me say that. I mean, it's just like, he does everything, bro. He does everything. Honestly, he's if you ask me, he's pound for pound, the best quarterback in the National Football League. And a lot of people would agree with that. Even I think some Bills fans and some Chiefs fans. But go ahead, yeah.
I'm gonna go through the five real quick. It's number 5, Trevor Lawrence. Number 4, Dak Prescott, which I feel like I don't really agree with that as overrated. I feel like he's playing pretty good up to his contract. Their defense is very, very bad.
I do kind of agree with Dak Prescott being called overrated, though. That's my thing. I know he puts up the numbers, but I do think that, like, there's just times where you would want Dak Prescott to, like, really close a game, and he just, like, doesn't do it. Whether it's like he doesn't manage the game well enough, whether he can't make the big throw in the big spot, whether it's just I don't know, man. I honestly think that the Cowboys are better off without Dak, and I think that with his contract, I mean, he should be performing and putting up the numbers that he's putting up. Like, that's like the bare minimum for a guy making that much money. Because I think he's still top 3 or top 4 paid quarterbacks in the league. Dak, top 3. You know what I mean? And like, to never have even been to an NFC championship. That's an issue for me. So
That
I
is
understand
true.
putting Dak on the list.
That is true. I think Cowboys tax is big on that too. But you bring that up. He hasn't been to NFC Championship. That's big. Number 3, Justin Herbert, which kudos to you because not many people will say that. Number 2 was Jordan Love. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. He said, see, he doubles down on this. He says Lamar Jackson may not just be one of today's most overrated active quarterbacks, but also of all time. He put out the Kanye West of all time.
No, that is crazy.
He
That
says
is crazy.
he hasn't found a way to deliver when it truly counts. Now, I want to just fire back on this because I saw a great tweet. I don't know who tweeted it out, but they said, hate to be the if man, but if the Ravens were to have lost on Sunday against the Vikings, that would have been a big game. But since we won it, it's not. Good defense against a
Yeah.
great coordinator coming off a big win against the Lions, and we lose that game. That's a big game. But since we won it, not a big game. He goes on to say of the 10 players who have joined the multiple MVP club, he's the only one without a Super Bowl ring. Once again, disingenuous because this guy, I believe, has many, many more years to play. Things can change. He says he's yet to reach the big game, as in the Super Bowl. 3-5 in the playoffs. Okay, cool. He says Rodgers is the second lowest on the list with a 524 playoff win percentage. He won 11-10 in the playoffs. Once again, we're acting like his career is over. It's not. He's 28, 29. And he showed no sign. Like, he's getting literally better with age, just like wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says until Jackson can prove he can take the Ravens beyond the AFC Championship game, he'll remain overrated. Okay. Since COVID, one other team has been in the Super Bowl in the AFC. That was the Bengals in 2021. That just, to me, once again, I hate to repeat it, disingenuous. There's no way you can sit here and say because he hasn't reached it yet, he's overrated. I'm not feeling it.
And it's just honestly disrespectful. And I feel like as a Ravens fan, let me say this: having Lamar Jackson as your quarterback is probably one of the most privileged things you can have as a football fan, and especially as a Ravens fan, because I know all of us, we know Lamar Jackson when we watch him play. He's going to do something electric. He's going to, light up the stat sheet, on most times, and he's going to win 70% of his games flat out, right? When you have a player like that, who is just quite simply a generational talent like Lamar Jackson is, I don't see the point in not appreciating him the way that a lot of these journalists do while he's playing, right? Like I would hate for, even if Lamar Jackson were to never win a Super Bowl, and they start putting him in the Dan Marino type of talks and whatnot, like guys who just never got to the big one and won it, right? I think it's still like you said, disingenuous and it's disrespectful because of what he's brought to the game. Like people are going to look back at Lamar Jackson like Mike Vick 2.0, like 4.0, to be honest with you. And that's just something that I don't see how you can understate that in today's game, like with watching him play in real time. I just don't.
Yeah, and to call him overrated, I think somebody brought up in the chat how without him, look at us. And in those 3 games without him, we averaged 14.3 points a game. And the bit kind of an outlier is that game where Huntley came in, who suits this offense better than Rush. But when you had a guy like Rush, when you just threw a jag at there at quarterback, 13 points in 2 games.
Yeah, they were doing nothing. They were doing. I mean, if anything, Lamar Jackson should be on his way to a 3rd MVP. I mean, that's kind of like if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy. Look, if he can stay healthy and continue to light it up, and I think that the reason why I have so much courage in the Ravens right now is because the one part that the Ravens are really struggling with right now is offense, and I know I have all the faith in the world that at some point that offense will turn the corner. I don't have that same sort of confidence in the defense, right? Until I actually see it. I would have to see it to believe it, right? That's why I was all doom and gloom, 4 or 5 weeks ago, because the defense didn't look like they were going to be able to get it together. But when you have a Lamar Jackson-led offense, eventually they're going to start turning some of those red zone trips into points. And when I say points, I don't mean field goals. I mean touchdowns. It's going to be 6 instead of 3. That's going to start happening very, very soon. There's opportunities against the Cleveland Browns. There's opportunities against the New York Jets and then the Bengals and all these teams who just quite frankly aren't good. And then you're going to start to see like the narrative start to pick up. I would love to know the odds on it right now, Alex, like for Lamar to win MVP. I think you said you sprinkled on it a couple weeks ago, right?
I sprinkled at plus 4,000.
Yeah.
After, I think it was right before he came back against the Dolphins. I think I was like, all right, like I'm
What is
definitely
it
gonna.
now?
Let me see. What are we at right now? We are at.
Because I believe you told me that last Thursday. So, after the Vikings win, I know he didn't like light it up particularly, but like they won. So
He is plus 3,000. So the guys
mm,
ahead of him: Hurts, Goff, Herbert, Darnold, Allen, Mahomes, Taylor,
Hurts would
Drake
never
May,
win it.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah. They'll never give it to Hurts. I think that, the rest of a lot of the national media is still too salty about the Eagles right now. It's like the whole tush push thing, even though it's not like super duper or as effective this year. And like people are starting to wake up to like it's a cheat play. Like we saw on was it Monday Night Football when the guys were clearly jumping off sides, right? And it was just they weren't calling it. They didn't call it. So I don't think that Hurts will ever win it. But like you said, Lamar Jackson at plus 3,000 today is still, I would take that. I would sprinkle it for sure. But
Okay.
on to the next. Yeah, but
Sorry.
on to the next topic, though, Alex. There was also some talks today that came out about Tyler Linderbaum, right? Pending free agent. He's going to be looking for a new deal. And apparently, there was a report that came out that the Ravens have already started contract talks with Tyler Linderbaum. But as of right now, they are nowhere near close. They're not close. So I wanted to ask you, Alex, and then the entire chat as well, and everybody part of the hashtag replay gang. Again, shout out to you guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying this content. But I wanted to ask you guys, do you see a future with the Ravens and Tyler Linderbaum? Because, there's going to be a lot of different guys to pay. A lot of guys who you could argue are a little bit more important. You got a Travis Jones coming up. We don't really know what's going on with Matabike in the terms of his future, but you got a Travis Jones who's going to need to get paid. Isaiah Likely, who I'm sure we're going to want to take the reins from Mark Andrews, probably going to have to pay him. Zay Flowers is coming up. He's our number one receiver. Can we afford to keep a Tyler Linderbaum? Of course, there's also Lamar Jackson. You're going to have to extend him as well. Alex, what are you thinking about the future of Tyler Linderbaum with the Ravens?
I'll add a Charlie Kolar has to get paid in there too. Marlon Humphrey, I think his deal runs out soon. So yeah, a lot of guys have got to get paid here, and I would like to keep him. Linderbaum, I think we went through the reigns of having just guys at center, and I feel like him and Lamar do have a good chemistry. I'd say. Now, obviously,
Yeah,
Linderbaum has his lows, and I think they showed against the Bills last year in the playoff game, and that's kind of been spotty line play in the playoffs. Of recent, it's kind of started when we got Lamar in, 19 and so forth, 20, and it's kind of still reared its ugly head. But I feel like I would like to re-sign him and put a little bit more capital, I'd say, online, and not just day three picks. I'm talking about maybe a day one or a day two, or maybe go out there and splash a little bit of cash for a guy out there and not at the end of his career. So I would like to
yeah.
re-sign him, but I feel like he's going to want a contract that resets the market, and that's going to be looking at uh, three digits, 100 milli most likely, exceeding what Creed Humphrey got.
So wait, you just to be sure, you're saying that you don't want the Ravens to draft another DB with their day one pick. Is that what you're saying?
Unless it's Kyle Hamilton again, unless it's a generational guy. No, I would. I think last year I wanted us to draft Trenches, but Starks fell. But yeah, I would like a lineman. Next year,
I
no matter
mean,
what happens this year, I want a lineman. I'll say that.
you need one. You need one. That's for sure. We do have a super chat donation. DWAS making it rain, dropping 2 in the chat. Appreciate you, DWAS, as the referee for this game Sunday's Land Clark. Land Clark. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like
Any particular any memories with him?
he had one of our games this year. I know DWAS knows which one, but he's already refed us, so he's in my good books. I don't recall him, ever having a bad game. Hopefully, doesn't start on Sunday at
Right.
4:25.
Knock on wood. For sure. For sure. Okay. Love it. Love it. Appreciate you, DWAS, as always, man. But yeah. So, and again, and when it comes to the whole Tyler Linderbaum thing, again, for me, it's just I saw somebody, I think it was my guy TY in the chat, like they didn't move Corey Bullock to center for no reason. I feel like
Mm.
you might see a replacement plan for a Tyler Linderbaum, maybe after the season. And the only reason why I wouldn't particularly mind that is because as much as I love Linderbaum and as much as I love the stability that he brings to the obviously the center position, he's more of, he's an undersized guy, so sometimes one-on-one. For example, this week he's going to be one-on-one head up a lot of times with Malik Collins, right? Who is an absolute animal on the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns. He's having himself a great year. And I remember from the first game, like just one-on-one, like some of these bigger guys on the defensive line, they just kind of bully Tyler Linderbaum when they get him on an island, right? And if you can get a guy in the draft who can kind of give you similar production, because I mean, as long as you have like competent center play, right? And your guards are really good, right? Because if you have really good guards, it's going to make your center even better. You know what I mean? If you have that type of help. But right now, we don't have those guards. I think that that's what's a little bit more important. And if Tyler Linderbaum, again, is going to be commanding that much money, like market resetting money, I think that unfortunately, as much as I would love to keep him again, the Ravens might have to end up going in a different direction. So it'd be unfortunate. But Mo says Lindy be getting bullied. He do sometimes. I'm not going to lie. You seen that, Alex?
I have, in the Bills game, 100%. I saw it last year. But my thing is now is I don't want this to be the what ifs. What if we gave him competent guards next to him on each side? I'm worried because
Yeah.
he looked good when he obviously had Zeitler next to him, and even it was him and John Simpson, and Simpson had his lows. Don't get me wrong, but when he had those two, it was a lot better. But I'm looking forward, not really, to see what he wants. How much year is he going to ask for? And is he worth more than Creed Humphrey? Me personally, I don't think so. Around there, I can deal with it, but nothing that's we're hitting 100 mil. But at the same time,
I guess
yeah.
It depends on how hard of a bargain Tyler Linderbaum's trying to run. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't necessarily strike me as a guy who would just like, I don't want to say selfishly, but like demand a certain dollar amount that he knows that the Ravens won't be able to like have a lot of wiggle room. But again, you got to get yours. This is that league where like you have to, when you get your second contract, you got to take as much as you can, right? So I'm sure that his agent is trying to get as much as possible. And, if he can argue for market resetting money, then that's what his agent's probably going to argue for, because the more he gets, the more his agent gets. I'm not sure what the percentage split is, but that's how that thing goes. So I don't know, man. I hope that Eric DaCosta can get him on a more team-friendly deal, because I just think that, excuse me, with the center, there's other positions. Like, again, I think with the guards, I think there's the tackle of the future that you have to address as well. And then again, all those other pending free agents that we're gonna have to deal with, that's gonna be weighing heavily on the books. So we'll have to see if that deal can get straightened out. But let's go ahead and get into what we came here to talk about, the meat and potatoes of the episode, guys. Episode 351 of PRP. We got to talk about this Browns game, Alex. We got to talk about it. You guys saw the thumbnail. Is this a trap game for the Ravens? Because as you guys know, I mean, the Ravens have lost their last 4 of 5 in Cleveland. They've lost their last 4 of 5 in Cleveland. So it's not necessarily friendly territory at all. We lost there last year. So this is going to be, I think, a tougher matchup than some Ravens fans expect. We'll see. But we're here to get into our predictions for it. And as you guys already know, our Purple Rain preview is always going to start with the I-word report. So let me go ahead and bring up the Ravens' latest I-word report on the screen so my guy Alex can go through what the Ravens are currently dealing with. Who's healthy, who's not.
Man, so you can see there, lots of fools, likely Keaton, Malachi, Lamar. Obviously, he missed yesterday. Real quick, Adam Schefter's a weasel. He really is. Like, this guy makes mountains in a mole. Yeah, he'll make a mountain in a mole. Like, Lamar didn't practice. Cool. He treated it like it was the end of the world. But once again, he's back today, kind of with a big FU to him. But the big thing on here, though, is did not practice. Rashad Bateman, Jay Higgins, Justice Hill, Marlon Humphrey. Humphrey is going to be out for this Sunday. I think he got his finger pinned. But Bateman will be out probably this week and next week, most likely. Mike Green popping up limited. If he's limited or full tomorrow, he should be good for Sunday. We will need him, especially, I think, the way he's been playing. I think he had probably his best game on Sunday against the Vikings. I watched that, and he put Christian Darrisaw into a nasty cycle. It was a thing of beauty. It was so nice. But relatively healthy. But we're gonna be missing our cornerback 1 or 2. Not sure where you put Humphrey now, and then Bateman's gonna suck. But I think Tez Walker, he'll be able to come in. D Hop, he'll play more snaps. So not too worried in that aspect. But our quarterback's healthy, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said Schefter's a weasel for his
Yeah.
reporting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
as a Ravens fan, I like kind of saw his tweet yesterday saying, "Oh, Lamar Jackson's not practicing." I just kind of rolled my eyes because as a Ravens fan, we all know that like this sort of thing happens from time to time where Lamar will just randomly pop up on the I Word report with a knee or he was feeling sore or something like that, so they decide to hold him out. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised, nor would I care if Lamar Jackson in year 8 just wants to take a day off every now and then, right? And just kind of rest his body and get ready for the upcoming game because that's how important he is. That's how he's going to show up, right? He's going to show up, right? I mean, the man didn't play football for a month, damn near, right? And then he came in, in that Dolphins game and lit it up, right? How many touchdowns? 2 touchdowns? Or no, 4 touchdowns, right? 4 passing touchdowns,
Piece.
no interceptions, right? I mean, he just played efficient as hell in his first game back. So, I mean, not to say that he doesn't need to practice, but like us Ravens fans know that like even if he misses a day, as long as it's nothing like that we already knew about before, like he got hurt in game and now he's missing Monday, Tuesday, you know what I mean? Like we kind of know he's going to be good. But from the perspective of an Adam Schefter who has to cover the entire league and he knows that a lot of his followers, as a matter of fact, most of them don't follow the Ravens that closely. Whenever Lamar Jackson is not at practice, you do kind of have to report that Lamar Jackson is not at practice, regardless of the reason. So I got that, but yeah, go ahead.
Or yeah, gas station Alfredo. I mean, we all know he gets the tummy aches once a year. That's kind of a given with Lamar. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not the end of the world. So he'll be fine. We'll see him on Sunday. We're good.
Now, what I will say is that Mike Green does concern me with the ankle. I did see a report that he was seen limping around practice today. And, that's not a good sign, especially with a guy who, relies on that bend, especially on the outside on these rush plays here. So it's just, and we're going to need him. We're going to need him, quite frankly. I mean, the Ravens pass rush has been abysmal all season. One of the lowest in pressure rates, lowest in sacks. And, we're literally Kyle Hamilton is our best pass rusher, like hands down right now. So Mike Green, he was starting to put things together. Hopefully he'll be able to go because I want to see him start to pick up some more steam. And I want to get to a point where like we're confident in Mike Green being our number 1 edge guy. We're confident in like 3rd and long. We're going to be looking for 45 and looking for him to make an impact, right? I want him to get to that point. But so hopefully he's healthy. Outside of that, like you said, Marlon Humphrey, him being out for this game, I think they said like he could have played, right? He could have played through this, but probably best to err on the side of caution. Don't necessarily think that the Browns or the Jets, and the same thing goes for Rashad Bateman. I wouldn't say we necessarily have to have those guys. They're very nice to have, but I think that we can beat the Browns and the Jets for that matter. Even though those are 2 still professional football teams, I think we can beat both of those teams without Marlowe or Bateman. And I want them to be healthy, especially for the last stretch of the season for sure.
Yeah, and especially with the news of the Jets coming out, Garrett Wilson's on the IR, so we won't be playing him in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, I know the defense is looking good, but he's a damn good receiver, and I'd rather not have to play him than play him. So that's kind of a good news now with, if Marlon has to miss these 2 games, I'm confident in what we have to stop their receiving threats.
Yeah. For sure. And then in terms of, did you have the Browns I Word report?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I didn't see that on my timeline today. It normally comes across, but it didn't today.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into some insights from this game.
So for them, I'm just going to go through their did not practice. Their defensive end, Alex Wright, did not practice. They had some limited. Carson Schlesinger, the rookie, Cedric Tillman, Harold Fannin Jr., Isaiah Bond, and then Jerome Baker, all limited. So they're relatively healthy. Most likely, Wright will miss the game if he doesn't practice tomorrow. But everybody else, is looking pretty good for them.
Okay. Got it. And then, again, man, this Browns defense is the main thing that concerns me. So what we're going to do now is turn our attention to some next-gen stats, right? And this is courtesy of next-gen stats, courtesy of the NFL, rather. And we're going to kind of look through this and, for our matchup comparison, see where we like the Ravens' advantages and what are our keys to victory for the Ravens to walk out of Cleveland, Ohio, with the dub and finally back at 500, which is, I look, back in the 1-5 days, Alex, I was praying for times like this. I was hoping that the Ravens would be able to put on a run, and I was just thinking to myself the entire time, like, bro, it's gonna take forever just to get back to 500, and the Ravens are knocking on the door right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we see here. What you see, the chart on the left shows you who has the advantage when the Ravens are on offense and the Browns are on defense. And as you guys can see, it just kind of sweeps the board here. The Browns defense is just one of the best in the league, pound for pound, rushing the passer, stopping the run, things like that. They've got the advantage across the board. Now, if you look at the flip side of things, you look at the Browns offense versus the Ravens defense. The Ravens defense does have a lot more advantages, and they would have a lot more, I think, if they would been playing up to the standard that they've been playing the last 4 weeks, the first 5 weeks, right, Alex? So, obviously the Ravens defense is trending in the right direction. But what I want to ask you here, Alex, is based off of what you see here in the Browns' advantages, it looks like this could be a defensive struggle type of game. Of course, again, AFC North rivalry, that's what tends to happen in some of these games. What are some of the Ravens' keys to victory to winning this game?
I'll say it right now, you have to find a way to get your run game going. Historically speaking, Derrick Henry isn't that good against the Browns. He had a great game against them last year, week 18, in a nothing game. Earlier this year, they held him like 20-some yards. Even last year, that game they beat us in Cleveland, they held him down. Now, this kind of means to me is how are you going to get creative with a Keaton Mitchell? Outside runs, it's going to be hard to run up the middle of these guys. Our interior run blocking, it's not the best, to say the least. So can we get Keaton Mitchell going? Can he break out a couple of runs? I know they asked Grant Delpit about him. They said they know about Keaton, they're going to try to stop him, but you have got to get creative. You've got to get something going on the ground, and it was working last week. I think Henry was getting his. Lamar took off for a scramble, but when Keaton Mitchell came in, whole different aspect.
Yeah,
big runs, chunk runs. He's in there. He's going to run. You couldn't stop it. That was what we saw in 2023 with Keaton Mitchell. When he's in the game, he's gonna make a big play, and how are you gonna stop it? And they couldn't. Well, one of my keys is just you've got to get this run game going, just anyway, and it may not be with Derrick Henry. So how are you gonna find a way? I'm looking at Tom Munkin. Can he get that done? So that's my first key. Got to get this run game going because it was not there week 2. I was at that game. It was bad. Thankfully, Lamar bailed us out. D-Hop had some great catches. Tez Walker had 2 touchdowns. That's my number one.
Yeah, and the Ravens efficiency in the run game has not been very good this year. This hasn't been one of the best years for Derrick Henry. Like you mentioned in the week 2 game against the Browns, didn't do much in that one. And just throughout the course of the season, I don't know exactly how many yards per carry he's averaging, but it's down. It's definitely down from last year. And you can thank the offensive line in large part for that. I mean, things have not been blocked, to the standard that they should. I actually saw a video from a coach, Sip to Tally Films, earlier today, and he was talking about why it's hard to get Keaton Mitchell on the field. And he was like, quite frankly, because the offensive line doesn't block well enough. And, things have to be blocked up damn near perfectly in order for Keaton Mitchell to spring off some of these runs. And if that doesn't happen, then, he's not going to look as efficient as he has. So, and for that reason, it's hard to take Derrick Henry off the field. Now, what I will say is, like you said, again, that change of pace is just something different, man. And I think that third quarters of games, when Derrick Henry's been thrown at you for 16, 17 carries now, and you're kind of getting tired of tackling him. And then you see 34 in the backfield and they run a toss to him and he just is, picking up speed and eating up grass, super quick. And you kind of got to cut off the field and try to get to him. And he's just running by guys. That's a different type of demoralizing, right? And you're just really taking the will from the defense with power and finesse. That's worse than one or the other. So, for complimentary reasons, definitely I do agree with you getting Keaton Mitchell involved in this game. And as a matter of fact, Alex, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you one bold prediction. I'm going to give you a bold prediction. I'm going to give you a Keaton Mitchell touchdown. That's a super bold one. Yeah, little sprinkle. Little sprinkle, because I know the odds on that are way out there, right? But I think that Keaton Mitchell is getting closer and closer to breaking off that big run. Right, that one where he gets around the entire defense, the secondary just they can't cut him off in time, and he takes it for maybe a 40 or 50 yard scamper for a touchdown. I can see it. That's coming. So that's my bold prediction for this one. Another key to victory for me in this one is going to be how the defensive line responds to the Browns run game. Because just like you said, Alex, the Ravens want to get their run game established in this one. That's pretty much all the Browns have, right? I mean, they've got Quinshawn Judkins right now, who is tops. He's number 6 in the league in yards per game. And with that being said, and I kind of want to bring up let me see something here with the Browns. Bring up some information on Quinshawn Judkins really quick. Let me see if I can find him. But they like to run him in between the tackles, right? But to the right side. So they like to run behind the right guard, Wyatt Teller, a lot. And what I'm thinking in this game is that you're going to see Travis Jones lined up over the guard, and you'll probably have, dare I say, like a Draymond Jones on that side as well, maybe playing that 3 tech position to kind of help with the run over on that side, because I do think that they'll probably favor that side. And then you might put, if Mike Green plays on the weak side, right, and see if he can help on that side. But again, it's gonna be very, very, very interesting to see early on in this game who actually gets the better of who on the ground. And let me see. I gotta find this. But what are your thoughts on Quinshawn Judkins, really quick?
I do like him. I think he's a good running back. I have him in fantasy. I picked him up late for this reason. Showed flashes in college. Obviously, sucked what happened off the field and why he missed it. Preseason in the first game. But he's shown, flashes of being Cleveland's guy and they're running back one for the future. And when you put up a performance like this, I mean, was that 75 yards, 22 carries? Like they're giving him the volume. And when you're one dimensional, I think the way they are with Dylan Gabriel quarterback, look at Derrick Henry. Like he's arguably one of the best of all time. And he's getting stopped. He had 75 yards and 20 carries last week. When you don't have a liner, if you have a guy like Dylan Gabriel behind you, they know what's coming. So they can stack the box. They can expect that. But look at his game. I think in one of his first couple of games, I think he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns. They didn't know what to expect out of him. Ran all over their defense. He's definitely is somebody I'm going to look at because I think Aaron Jones had a pretty good game against us. I think if it was closer, they would have leaned on him more. So I'd love to see us, get a Judkins early and often. But that's the trenches. What are we going to do when you bring out Mike Green with him getting hurt? I think he plays, but if not, we're already weak. I think outside of the outside linebackers, so it'd be Ojabo, KVN, and then Dre Jones. And KVN to me really hasn't showed that much this year, and I'm getting a little worried for him. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the age is really starting to show. You can kind of tell, like, he kind of reserves the gas tank on some
Yes.
plays, and like for some third downs and things like that. But even then, he's still not really getting off the ball very quickly at all and not getting any pressure. So it's like, what are we supposed to really do with that? But it's coming towards the end of his tenure with Baltimore, so I do fully expect the Ravens to go in a different direction sooner here rather than later. But no, man, all good points, man. It comes down to this: these divisional games is real simple, guys. You got to stop the run, and you got to effectively run the ball on your side, right? And everything else is going to be predicated off of that. But it's just going to be tough for this offensive line. This offensive line has to show up because the defensive front for the Cleveland Browns is no joke. It is no joke at all. So this is going to be a hard one, but let's go ahead and get into some score predictions, shall we, Alex, for this game? I think that, and appreciate the sub, King Uriah, appreciate the sub. But I think that this one, and as much as I'm bigging up the Cleveland Browns here, I am going to take the Ravens to win this one. I'm gonna go 27-9 in this one. I think that the Ravens effectively bottle up the run early, and in some of these early red zone trips that the Ravens get, I think that they score some touchdowns, and then that forces Dylan Gabriel to really kind of play from behind. And I think he starts to make mistakes after mistakes, and it just kind of stays like that. I don't know if they score a touchdown. It might be bold. That might be bold, but I mean, this Browns team is only averaging 16 points per game, and they're going up against a surging Ravens defense who knows them very well. And oh, by the way, Dylan Gabriel is a rookie who is not very good at all. And this is his very first time playing the Ravens. You can go ahead and check the record for rookie quarterbacks against the Ravens. John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson led Ravens at that. I mean, it's not very good. It's not very good. So I am going to have the Ravens winning this one again, 27-9. But Alex, let me go ahead and get your score prediction. If you're watching after the fact, part of the replay gang, leave your score prediction down below in the comments section. But Alex, take it away.
I'm gonna be on the same wavelength as you. This defense will hold another team for the 5th straight game to under 20 points. after the whole Aloha Gilman trade. Kyle Hamilton back in the box. You'll see that. But this should be a game where our feet are kicked up on the table. Third quarter, red zone's on. They take it off of our game to put on a more competitive game, like last week, like the Lions game, like the Seahawks game. This game should not be being played. If we are serious, I mean this wholeheartedly, should not be close. Dylan Gabriel is hashtag not good. All right, get to him, make his life hell. 34-13 Baltimore Ravens. Garbage time touchdown. We have the backups in. Somebody gets beat. But it should be, to me, 34-6, 34-3. Late. I want to see Snoop Huntley in there. I want to see Keaton getting carries. I want to see Justice Hill in there. I want to see Tylen and Tez in there getting, just go balls. I don't want this game to be close at all because if you keep it close, we lose like last year.
Yeah.
And it's not Eddie Jackson back there at safety.
Right. And that's what the Browns want to do. They want to keep it ugly. But I'll tell you what, Alex, I want to see 30 points. I want to just put up 30 plus, man. I mean, like, and I like again, that's why I like your score prediction even better than mine, because as encouraging as watching the Ravens has been the past couple of weeks, there's also kind of like that thought floating in the back of all of our minds, like, okay, what's up with the offense? Like, why can we not put 6 up on the board way more often than we are right now? So hopefully the Ravens turn the corner in that regard and they actually start putting up points and, the offense starts complementing the defense more often. I think that the Ravens can force some turnovers in this one too. I mean, they've been averaging, I think they might be back at +0. They might be even in turnover differential now. I mean, they were -7 like just a couple of weeks ago. So they've been doing very well, and hopefully they can still continue to put together this Sunday. But that is our score predictions for this game. Let me just pull this up really quick. Yeah. The turnover differential 0. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Good. I'll talk about a bold prediction. Sam says 6 or 7 sacks for the Ravens defense. I don't know if you're being serious or making a joke, but this team, I think we're at 12 sacks or 13 sacks for the whole year. If we can get, relatively like 50% of that production in one game, that to me, if I could see 6 and, like a turnover or 2, I'm feeling good. But it is Dylan Gabriel. I want to make his life a living hell, but I do want to see those sacks come up. That's like the one takeaway from last week. We only had 1 sack. I know JJ McCarthy can run out the pocket, but I want to get to the quarterback more because in the playoffs you need to get to the quarterback and he's a good guy. So just show me a little bit of just progression, and I'll be happy.
I want to see this Ravens team make Dylan Gabriel make so many mistakes that it gets to a point where the Browns owner calls down onto the field and says, "Hey, put Shador in. It's time. Put him in. I don't care."
So poetic.
Yeah, I could see it, right?
Against the team that obviously wanted him, he said no. Game's over. He comes in, garbage time, fourth quarter, puts together a very good drive. They start him the next week. I can see it. Yeah. I can see it.
Oh, man. I would love to see it. You know what I mean?
He beats the Steelers, I would love to see that. And we get to overtake them. I mean, that's poetic right there. I'm seeing the vision.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. So there you have it. That is our Browns versus Ravens prediction. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into our next segment. As a matter of fact, real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
You had your bold prediction of Keaton. You had your my last week was Charlie Kolar touchdown. He was close. He was rumbling and stumbling. He almost got there. This week, I don't know how bold it is. Third straight game, Malachi Starks interception.
Ooh, we talked about it on Monday, how confident he's been. Yeah.
He's feeling it. I think they're going to go for a Judy deep ball, and here comes Starks, center fielder, picks it off. There's my bold prediction.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Now that he's building momentum with that, he's gonna start chasing it more, Alex. Like that's the thing, and the game is kind of slowing down for him now. So I'm excited to see, like, if you try to go over the top on this Ravens team again, man. Like I told you on Monday when JJ was lobbing those footballs up, I was like, wait, hold on. I know we got somebody back there ready to take care of this, right? Because and I could see Dylan Gabriel doing that. I could see him, just out of desperation on a third and whatever. Throw it up. Malachi Starks is right there. Of course, Kyle Hamilton will be bringing the pressure. He's going to have to get rid of it. Yeah, Judy, I could totally see that. I like that. So, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So your bold prediction, Malachi Starks gets his 3rd interception in his 3rd straight game. And my bold prediction is that Keaton Mitchell gets an anytime touchdown. Interesting stuff. I think one of those two could hit. One of those two could possibly hit.
One of them.
We haven't gotten to our Purple Rain Parlay segment yet. So if you're waiting on that, make sure you stick around. Stay tuned. Also, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Almost 100 people watching live right now. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming through. Again, this is the Purple Rain podcast, episode 351. That is. So I actually saw one more thing in the chat. One more interesting thing I wanted to bring up to you, Alex. I think Mog said it a couple of minutes ago. He said that is it just him, or does Tyler Loop's kicks kind of like hook in, like they barely get in? Like a lot of them recently have like barely gotten in. These are kicks from like, 30 and 40s and stuff like that. Of course, he had the miss from 56, last week. But does that concern you at all? I mean, because again, like I think I told you on Monday, like we haven't really put Tyler Loop in like that big kick position yet, right? A lot of his kicks have been low stakes. What are your thoughts on Tyler Loop?
I mean, I'm really, really pleased with what he's done.
What
the one miss was very long. I think we had a penalty that pushed us back. But I'm gonna not transfer away from the kicker, but dare I say the holder. We saw the same thing happen last year with Mr. Tucker. They were always, going the same way when you miss them. So I'm wondering if it's, is it the way Jordan Stout's holding it? It's kind of scaring me. Well, it could be, because that's, 2 different kickers now. And I do have a question for you after this segment, but I wouldn't say really scaring me until he misses them. Keep on making them. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. I'm not really nervous when he comes on the field. I not saying it's like Tucker trust, but he comes on the field, I'm like, hey, this is going through anything, 50 under. It's going through. I have that confidence with him. I see Spiritual says he's nervous. I'm the complete opposite. I mean, it's growing pains, and maybe because I expect that to happen because he's a rookie, and we talked about it over the summer. There will be growing pains, and I'm understanding of that. But so far, I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah, and I think like for a rookie, man, like we kind of have to give him some grace, But at the same time, man, the kicker competition in the league is getting up there, right? I mean, you got guys breaking the record, 68-yard field goals, and trotting guys out there for 60 plus all the time, and I feel like that's a weapon that I would love the Ravens to have, because I mean, we had that for a while with Tucker. Like we wouldn't mind trotting him out there for 55 plus or 60, you know what I mean? Whatever. And seeing if he could make it. And sometimes he did. But with Loop, and even sometimes those were in big spots too. But with Loop, we haven't really seen that yet. And on some of the routine kicks, it seems like they're kind of barely sneaking through. So it is interesting that you bring up the holder, and if maybe that's affecting the operation. But if that's the case, I'm turning my attention to John Harbaugh, because it's like, hey, if you're saying that special teams is your thing, you got to fix that. That shouldn't be an issue that's, popping back up year after year, like 2 straight years now. Like, no, you're not a defensive guy. You're not an offensive guy. So you for damn sure better make sure that special teams operation is smooth as butter. Right. So that's how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah.
But he's still a rookie. Tyler Loop, and I do expect him to get better. Maybe next year he'll start banging through 60, 62 yards, 65 yarders and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Real quick now, Chris, you read my mind. She says, I think Tucker will be on a team by the playoffs. And we had this great conversation, I believe, little armchair boss, like, will Tucker be on a team this year? I said yes. I think a team will pick him up with how bad the kicker situation is for some of these teams this year.
Yeah.
I think he will get picked up by a team. I think the Packers could. I think that's definitely a shout.
Yeah, he'll definitely get picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't he posted on social media like not too long ago, like showing like he's ready? You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna pick him up. They're gonna put their pride to the side. And they're gonna say, all right, we'll give you a shot. We need the help. You're one of the best of all time. You could still say the best of all time, even though he doesn't have that record anymore. But just his consistency and stuff like that over the years, like he's gonna come in and do good work. So I could see a team bringing him back, man. I could, 100%.
I mean, and not to kind of unearth some stones, but the Packers did take a guy who was accused of sexually assaulting somebody on a plane. I think it was McManus. I think it was like when he was with the Jags. It was like on the plane back from London. He did it, and they picked him up. So I think I think Tucker might be going to the Packers. That's my bold prediction right there.
Interesting. I mean, we'll see. Let me see. Sam also agrees with you in the chat. Says Tucker is definitely going to the Packers. Interesting. We'll see. Before we move on from that, I'll just see. I think we got one comment in here. Hell no, this ain't a trap game. And they said we haven't swept the Browns in 5 years, but they're gonna get the shit stomped out of them. We crushed them when they had a way more complete quarterback. Fair. But again, you can never really guess these AFC North games. Like, I mean, the Patriots play the Jets tonight, right? Everybody is betting on the Patriots, but guess what wouldn't surprise me? I mean, I've seen much crazier things happen, so it's just like it's any given Sunday, man. And especially these in-division games, they get tricky.
Dolphins Bills last week.
Yeah.
Dolphins freaking Bills.
Talk about it.
America's heartthrob, Josh Allen, getting beat by freaking Mike McDaniel wearing his high water pants and Tua Tagovailoa. I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither. But Alex, we got some picks to do. We got some picks to get into. NFL Week 11. I think you and I mean, we didn't do too bad last week. Only missed maybe like 4 or 5. We're getting better. What's up?
And the ones we lost, you can't get mad at us because the Jags, we talked about it before the show. The Jags blew a lead, Ravens Harbaugh-esque. I think the Steelers one was fair. I think we had every reason to believe they should win. And Aaron Rodgers and their offense stunk it up. But no excuses this week. I'm feeling it. I think we have games that we can definitely pick. We can get them right. And I'm feeling over 80% this week.
All right. Well, I mean, you heard it here first, folks. We're going to give you our locks of the week. This is our Purple Rain Picks segment. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Yes. All right, tonight, like you said, Thursday night, AFC East, the Patriots and the Jets. By the way, Patriots are wearing those sick uniforms. Give me the Patriots. I think they're probably the hottest team right now in the league. And with the uniforms, they cannot lose.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots in this game, too. Full disclosure, I did put a little money on the Patriots to win tonight. I mean, as much as I just got done saying, I've seen crazier things happen, I do think that the Patriots take care of business. And, I just wanted to do a little straight bet just to see. Sometimes you got to see one go through the hoop, right? I feel like this was the play for that. Thursday night football, I'm going to bet on the home team, right? That's much better going up against one of the worst teams in the league. What could go wrong? Right? What could go wrong? I got the Patriots in this one, though.
Nice. Moving on now. Oh, boy, this is near and dear to my heart. Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m., the Commanders and the Dolphins in the beautiful Real Madrid Stadium in Spain. I'm looking forward to it. I think is it the Real Madrid Stadium or is it Atletico Madrid? I'll have to see what stadium it's in. Sorry, but it's in Spain nonetheless. Yeah, it is Real Madrid. Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, one of the most the best stadiums I think in the world. You just got to look it up to see the atmosphere is insane. They have the grass stadium, the grass field, and the turf field. They have they can mix and match. With that being said, though, I feel bad because it's low key kind of a stinker. 3-7 against 3-7. Commanders and Mariota against the Dolphins and Tua. I think it's a great spot for the Dolphins to go back-to-back weeks. Commanders, though, this is a really weird game. I'm going to just kind of coin flip this here. Give me the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, I was also going to go with the Dolphins in this one, too, man. It's just like a Marcus Mariota-led Commanders just does not inspire me, not one bit. The Dolphins are very, very tricky. As you saw, they can go out there and they can stomp the Bills, right, and really shut them out. Have Josh Allen turn the football over. I think that you're going to see sort of the same thing this week. You're going to see some costly turnovers by the Commanders, and the Dolphins should win this one pretty comfortably. Give me Miami.
Nice. Next up, the Packers and the Giants. I think Packers right now are one of the most confusing teams in the league, it feels like for me. Don't know who they are. Don't know what team will show up. And the Giants are starting Jameis Winston Sunday at 1 o'clock. Jackson Dart is out with a concussion. Russell Wilson, backup quarterback. As much as I want to see... Yeah, new coach. You're right. Mike Kafka. Dable got the sack. Definitely, I want to say I liked him, but he did make some decisions that kind of confused me. But I think I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. You've got to bounce back here. I saw LaFleur. He might be on the hot seat. Matt LaFleur. Could be out of Green Bay. I mean, there's been rumblings now about that.
I heard that too. I'm gonna go with the Packers in this one, but like, I don't think that the LaFleur, his seat heating up, I don't think that is gonna have any real legs to it. I think that what he's done for that franchise, and Jordan Love, you can't really. You have to give him a longer leash, right? And I also kind of feel similar to with Brian Daboll. You know what I mean? Like, he, in his first year coaching them, took them to the playoffs, won a playoff game, if I remember correctly. You know what I mean? And that was when he didn't have his quarterback of the future, right? Then you guys gave away Saquon, and now he's finally got a young nucleus of talent who, oh, by the way, they're all hurt. Lost his number one receiver, lost his number one running back, now lost his future of the franchise quarterback. Right. And like, how is that all his fault? And Brian Daboll is a guy who he clearly cares. He gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of guy you want. If anything, this is an indictment for me on the ownership, right? The upper management of the New York Giants right now. I think they're kind of mismanaging things. I think Brian Daboll year for me. But I'm going to go with the Packers in this one. Like you said, they just have to bounce back if they want to be
I couldn't
serious.
agree more. I don't want to take too much time on this, but every time I felt like I watched the Giants, it was him like rallying for his guys. Whether it's a weakness, they're still, I think, 7-2. The Colts are, or 8-2, one of the two. But kind of pushing out for a wild card. I think that a big win over the Jags last week. I'm going to take the Texans to win this and go 500.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Houston in this one. No need to really overthink it for me. I just think that Houston is in just a much better spot than Tennessee. Tennessee is still firmly in their rebuilding stage. That's clear. They're probably going to get one of the top picks. So yeah, give me the Texans in this one.
Yes. Now next up, what do we have here? We have the Panthers and the Falcons. Oh boy. Falcons played their butts off against the Colts, took them down to OT. Panthers had an absolute letdown game after a big win against the Packers. I'm taking the Panthers in this one. They are that team to lose a bad game and win a big game right afterwards. You don't know who they are, and I think this is the week they'll show up. So I might have an egg on my face, but I'm going to rock with the Panthers on this one.
I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one. I think that they get their running game going with Bijan. And then what I've seen from Drake London, I mean, he's the only real productive receiver on that team, but boy, is he a great target. Big body target. You can rely on him pretty much in damn near any situation, right? Passing the football wise. And, again, this is going to be one of those games. And I think I'm going to start doing this like one of these games every week. I'm going to go with one team, but like also go with the spread for the other team. So I'll take whatever the spread is for the Carolina Panthers in this one, plus whatever, right? But to win the game outright, I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Low-key, Drake London, top 5 receiver for me this year. He has put the team on his back, man. Every time I watch him, he's making plays. It's really happy for them. Next up now, the Bears and the Vikings, two teams that we are very familiar with of recent. In Minnesota, I like what the Bears have been doing. They've only lost one game in the past 7, of course, to Tyler Huntley and the Ravens. Vikings, tough loss against us last week. I think the Vikings do take this. The Bears were down against the Giants. I think if they're playing a little bit better of a team with more talent, they lose that game last week. For that reason, I would take the Vikings to bounce back.
I'm going to take the Vikings in this one as well. I think that the Vikings win this game by maybe one possession. Real quick, Kwame says in the chat, Sutton loves anyone that's not like Zay Flowers. That's actually hilarious. That is hilarious. But I mean, you're kind of right. I have a type. Sorry, but I do. But no, who was his game for again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
It was the Bears-Vikings.
Bears-Vikings, yes. Very familiar with both of these teams. Played them both recently. I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one. I think the pass rush of the Vikings is really going to get after Caleb Williams. And this is just going to be another one. This has been a roller coaster year for Caleb Williams. It's like one week, it's like, is this guy really the future of the Bears? And the next week, it's like, yeah, he's probably the future. Then the next week, it's like, well, is he really? And I think that this week is going to be one of those, is he really type of weeks. And he's going to make some mistakes and then give me the Vikings in this one.
I like that. Next up, Jags, in Jacksonville, 1 o'clock. Actually, one of my really good friends going to this game, so I'm happy for him, Charger fan. Good enough for him. He's going to see the Chargers beat the Jags. I think the Jags last week got really the soul sucked out of them, and with Travis Hunter now being done for the year, one of the bright spots you had is now gone. So I don't really see what, I don't see light at the end of the tunnel right now, and if the Chargers with that big win of the Steelers, they're riding high, man. So give me the Chargers to go 8-3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I mean, I thought that they would get torn up without their tackles. seem to be holding up decently. So yeah, give me the Chargers in this one.
Moving on to the Buccaneers and the Bills in Buffalo. You mentioned like take the money line and the spread. I can see Bills money line, Bucks spread. I think this will be a close game, but the Bills tough loss last week, and the Buccaneers are just banged up. I know Bucky Irvin might come back, Godwin. I still think they're a week or so away from really being back. Give me the Bills in this one.
Yeah, for all the same reasons, I'm also going to take the Bills. I mean, Bills have to bounce back. Bills have to show up and be serious, right? I think that they have to have a decisive victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like you said, they're beat up. And the Bills, again, you got to show us something. You beat the Chiefs, and then right after that, you follow up by losing to the Dolphins. Are you real? Are you not? Are you going to fight for the number 1 seed? Are you going to try to fight for your division? Because you got the Patriots coming up again. They already hold the tiebreaker over you because they beat you earlier in the season. You got to show up. I think they do this week. Give me the Bills.
Next up now, AFC North matchup, the Bengals and the Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. The Devils playing around 3-6 Bengals, 5-4 Steelers, and I know Burrow said he wants to come back Thanksgiving, but if you go 3-7 here,
What's
and the way
point?
that we've been playing, and it's like a 2-horse race. I think season's over, and low-key, a part of me wants their season to be over, so I don't have to see him Thanksgiving night. But I think Hendrickson is out as well. I think it's a nasty, nasty game. The Steelers pull this out. I think they're still pissed off about the Thursday night game.
I don't know. I think
Acrisure.
Yeah, there is. Give me the Steelers to bounce back in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Our 4:00 window. Brock Purdy is back for the Niners playing
I heard
the Jacoby Brissett-led Cardinals. Kyler Murray, boy, we could have a whole debate about him or just conversation. Maybe baseball was the better choice. I'm not too sure. His career in Arizona could be done. It's looking like. Give me the Niners in this one, though. We'll talk about that a whole different time.
I do also have the Niners. I mean, if I was Kyler Murray, I would have no shame going into Major League Baseball, making a huge bag over there. Maybe doing some video game stuff on the side as well. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, I just don't think he's cut out, man. These smaller guys. I talk about having a type with wide receivers. It's the same thing for me at quarterback, right? I need you to be able to see over the offensive line. If not, how do I expect you to win a Super Bowl, right? When you're going to play against the biggest and baddest defensive line. I just don't know how that works. But yeah, give me the 49ers in this one.
Yeah, I know the Lions and Eagles are Sunday night football, but to me, this right here, game of the week. Seahawks 7-2 against the Rams 7-2.
Oh.
After what the Seahawks have done the past 2 weeks, and now the Rams with the MVP right now favored in Matt Stafford. I wish we weren't playing a 425 because this would be the game I'd have on TV. Not Red Zone. I would not care. I know the Chiefs and Broncos play. This game right here is going to be absolute fireworks in LA. I mean, McDonald against McVay, defense against offense. I think the Rams will prevail. I like Stafford a lot more than I like Sam Darnold, and I think the Rams will be able to pull this off.
Man, this is a tough one. Man. However, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I'm riding the Mike McDonald train, and I think that this is the week that they become the proclaimed best team in the National Football League, because they're kind of dancing around it right now. Some people are already saying, some pundits are already saying, like, yeah, that's low-key the best team in the National Football League right now today, right? But I think that this is their coming out party. Mike McDonald really hits the scene as like the next boy wonder coach, because he's still kind of under the radar just a little bit right now. But
everybody
I think
but Raven fans, honestly.
Again, but I think this game against a Sean McVay, the boy wonder of boy wonders, right? The original. Give me Mike McDonald and the Seahawks. I think they get it done.
This hurts, man. Like, this is like your first love for me. Like, I love McVay and I love McDonald. I love them both, man, and it hurts to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing both their matchups. 425 window, Chiefs Broncos in Denver. Be honest, give me the Chiefs here. Bo Nix low-key kind of scared me on Thursday night. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
It was pretty stinky.
It was bad, man. I mean, and I am a Bo Nix believer. I'm a believer in Bo, and I've said this before, but this year, man, and I know his touchdown to interception ratio isn't bad, right? But like, the guy just is not making plays consistently enough, like not nearly enough. I mean, from drive to drive, he looks like a totally different quarterback.
Yep.
You'd never know what you're gonna get from Bo Nix, and the Chiefs, they take advantage of stuff like that, and you do know what you're going to get from the Chiefs. Pretty much drive in and drive out. Of course, they're not going to score a touchdown every drive, but they're one of the better teams in the league at scoring. So give me the Chiefs.
And let's talk about some of their games real quick. Broncos. Here's some of their wins: 20-12 against the Titans, 21-17 Eagles, 13-11 Jets. Barely beating the Giants 33-12, and then beating the Texans 18-15, and the beating the Raiders 10-7. These are close games against teams that, to be honest, if that's the Chiefs will make that one or two more plays to win the game. So honestly, that's why I'm picking the Chiefs in this one. Then
Same.
Moving on now to Sunday night, Lions and the Eagles at the Link. This will be a good game. The Lions, man, came off of an absolute ass whooping of the Commanders, playing a good Eagles team. I think the Lions, man, I think they will go in there. I think they will beat the Eagles. Really hard for me to say that, but looking at what Jahmyr Gibbs did last week, Goff to Laporta, St. Brown, offense is firing, defense is firing. Eagles stall out to me a little too much than I would like them to. AJ Brown's on streams, saying he's not happy. That's just a recipe for disaster. This one, I think, give me the Lions.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Eagles in a close one possession game in this one. To me, Alex, it feels like the Eagles are having the year that the Chiefs had last year, if that makes sense, coming off of a Super Bowl season, and you're just kind of like coasting through the year, kind of like on energy conservation mode. Saquon Barkley hasn't really gone off crazy. AJ Brown obviously hasn't really done much of anything this year, especially compared to previous years, but they're still winning games. They're just finding ways to win games, and I think that's what happens in this one too, and they win by one possession. Again, this is one of those where I'll take the Eagles money line, but I'll take the Lions spread. I think this one's going to be pretty close. But give me the Eagles.
And then moving on now to Monday Night Football. Okay. Cowboys Raiders at Allegiant. Give me the Cowboys to win this.
Yeah, this is again one of those games where if Dak doesn't look dominant, that's the reason why I think that he's overrated. Because you're supposed to go out there against this Raiders team and light it up. I get it. Max Crosby is there, but I don't want to hear it, man. When you got weapons like CD and GP, and I think both of them are healthy right now, right? CD's still healthy, right? Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, I need to see something. I need to see some big numbers from Dak and take care of business. But I am going to go with the Cowboys in this one.
Nice. That right there. Week 11 picks for the NFL. So hopefully, I mean, we were pretty even on most of them, but some are different. So we'll see how we do.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll bring it back to you next week. But now it's time to make some money, Alex. It's time for the Purple Rain Parlay segment. And speaking of money, we got G Money in the house. What's going on, G Money? Our guy Gerald Lawson. What's going on? Longtime viewer of the show.
I'm not wearing a hat, Gerald. So you always make fun of me for that. No hat today.
No hat. And I've got mine on today. But appreciate you, Gerald, for coming through. A true Purple Rain pioneer in the house. But let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain Parlay segment. Let's get into it.
Yes, and like you see, right under there it says, please gamble responsibly. First and foremost, I want to get that out the way. And especially with, I see now we have pitchers throwing pitches for 5 to 10K when you're making hundreds of thousands. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Absolute blasphemy. I don't get it at all. But we're going to go to the Ravens game. We're 7.5 point favorites. Over under set at 39.5. And if you were to take both of our predictions, we say that the over does hit. That's my first leg. Over 39.5.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a pretty.
Yours doesn't. You said 27.9. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I say that's why it's a good line. That's a very, very good line for this game. Divisional game. Both defenses are the highlight of these two teams right now, as of right now. So, but then again, the kind of randomness of these divisional games. You never know how they could go. But I do think, again, like I predicted earlier, I do think that this is the game where we start to see the Ravens cash in on more of their red zone trips. And for that reason, I could see them potentially getting to 30 points. The Browns maybe scoring a garbage time touchdown or maybe putting up a couple of field goals. So I could see the overhitting. I do like that. What are the odds on that again?
It is minus 105.
Okay. You know what? I'll take that as a leg.
Okay.
I'll take that. Over 39.5. Let's do it.
Okay. Any receivers looking at right now, rushing props, passing props, what you got?
So no Rashad Bateman this week. So we can't just blindly put our money on Rashad. What is Zay Flowers? And I know, look, man, I've been doing this all the time. And I always talk, you guys know how I feel about Zay Flowers, but I'm always putting him on the slip. What is his receptions line at this week with no Bateman?
4.5.
Okay. That's better than the last couple of weeks. It's been 5.5, right? And it hasn't been hitting. Because I think he had last week, like 3 or 4, I want to say, something like
4
that.
4 for 75.
4 for 75. That's right. So it's it's been tricky hitting this over on the receptions, but in this game with no Rashad Bateman, I could definitely see Browns defense kind of bottling up the Ravens run in certain spots. That offensive line not really doing it for the run game as well as they should, and the Ravens are gonna have to throw. And Zay Flowers leads the team in targets. I could see it. What are the odds?
Minus 128.
Kind of want it a little bit better than that, but what do you think about that?
I do like it. I think there will be some short passes involved. Just maybe if the line's not holding up, I can see 5 to 10 yarders. A couple of them, maybe 2-in-1 drive right there. And then,
well, what's his receiving yards at?
Let me take a look. It is
Maybe
59
like 50.
and a half.
Okay.
So we hit that last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's minus 114.
That might be the better value.
I like that value.
Yeah. Let's go with that one. Let's go with that one.
That.
Zay Flowers over on receiving yards. Last week, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. Last week, I think I put Tyler Loop over on the field goals, and that smashed. Obviously,
green bean.
Yeah. But what were you gonna say?
I'm looking at I hate to be that guy. Harold Fannin Jr. Like this kid coming out of college. His over-under's at 36.5. His receptions are at 4.5. I don't really like that a lot. I'm looking at maybe his alt lines for receiving. For 30 plus, it's minus 188. That's something I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on. Let me see what else we have going on here. Passing. Lamar. What's his over-under? His passing yards over-under is 209.5.
209. It's been kind of weird with Lamar. That's the thing, man. They're really trying to establish the run, and I appreciate that. And then Lamar is just not having as explosive of games as you would think. Because even though he threw for 4 touchdowns in that Dolphins game, it really should have been a Jackson 5 or maybe 6 touchdowns. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of want to stay away from Lamar this week. Even the running game, like the rushing yards. I'm sure. What's the rushing yards at this week?
It's at 34.5. Last week it was at 36.5. He ended on 36 because of a kneel down. Bad beat.
See, yeah,
Vegas.
Yeah, and then against a Browns team, of course, coming off of this knee soreness, reportedly.
Yeah.
Again, I would either take the under on his rushing yards or just stay away from it. Yeah.
So Derrick Henry's at 76.5. I'm not gonna bet on it. If I were to bet, under.
Yeah, I don't really like that either.
I don't see the big run happening against them in Cleveland. In Baltimore, maybe not in Cleveland. I don't see it happening.
Let's go hipster. What's Keaton Mitchell? Give me Keaton Mitchell's not receiving but rushing yards.
He's not listed on FanDuel right now.
What?
Nope.
It's crazy.
But his touchdown is like plus 480. I think last time I checked.
Let me see if he's listed on. Let me see Underdog. Just because I'm curious. Who did I say? Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell. They don't have his line for rushing yards. Crazy. But, I mean, I don't know. They'd probably put it at, like, I would assume, maybe like 17 and a half.
Well, I would take that. 100%.
Which I would probably take because, again, I've got my bold prediction. He breaks off a big one for a touchdown. So I think that would probably be at plus money, too, as well.
Yeah. So I'm looking at anytime touchdown scores.
Okay.
They have Zay. Here's I don't like this. I'm not taking this. They have Zay Flowers at plus 160 for a guy who has one touchdown all year. I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, no. It should at least be. You should be giving me a deal on that at like plus 220 at least.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like plus 160 for a guy who scored one touchdown, like you said. And as Ravens fans, we know that Zay Flowers is not a big touchdown guy. You know what I mean? Because he catches damn near all of his balls like underneath. You know what I'm saying? And like he doesn't go over the top. That's just not really what he does. So yeah, it's hard to bet on him for a touchdown, especially at those odds. But we need one more. We need one more leg.
We need one more. I'm gonna run through anytime touchdowns. Derrick Henry minus 130. Judkins 100. Andrews 185. Likely 270. Hopkins 310. Jackson 340. Judy 420. Keaton 440. Nothing's really standing out to me. A long shot for me though, if you just like want to like literally sprinkle it, is Tez Walker anytime plus 2200. He had two against him earlier in the year. He's going to be getting snaps this game. Yeah, no Bateman. That's if you're into sprinkling. That's right. One, man.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Andrews receptions.
I think it's at 4.5 or 3.5. I want to say.
4.5. I'm not taking that. At 3, I might.
3.5 plus 106 or 29.5 yards. I like the yards. Personally.
You like the yards? They're kind of even to me. They're kind of dead even to me.
Really?
But I do like the yards though. I feel like he can catch one over the middle off play action, be in the open field, rumble around for a good gain of like, who knows, like 19, 20 yards, and then maybe one other catch other than that. Outside of that, might do it, or 2 other catches. So yeah, look, give me the over on receiving yards for Mark Andrews, and we'll go with that for our third leg.
All right. So, do the wrong one. Right now, it's a plus 420 for over 39.5 match points, over 59.5 Zay Flowers receiving yards, over 29.5 Mark Andrews receiving yards. I'll be honest, I think Mark can hit this in the first quarter. Last week he had the drop, which I'm still pissed off about.
For sure.
That cashes last week if he were to catch that. And I don't think he drops that in this game. He plays the Browns great, the Bengals great, and NFC opponents great, it feels like. Does not play the Steelers great or like other AFC teams, it feels like the Chiefs, Bills. But I'm not mad at that. He could get a boost on Sunday possibly, but I'm going to save this. I'm not mad at that at all. I like those odds.
Yeah, I like that. Plus 420. Let's light it up. Light it up, man. I love it. So there you have it. Our Purple Rain parlay. Again, please, guys, please gamble responsibly. Yeah. So that is where we're going to leave it for this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. This has been episode 351. We're about $120 in. Kind of a long episode, but we had a lot to get into, as a lot has happened this week. So we appreciate you guys for coming through. If you made it all the way through to the end of the episode and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, shout out to you. Salute to you. Make sure you guys go ahead and like this video. Helps us out a whole ton here at the Purple Rain podcast YouTube channel. And also be sure to subscribe as well. If you did enjoy the content, we truly would appreciate that too. But yeah, till next time, again, we love you guys. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. You can follow him on Twitter simply as 10, Instagram simply as 10.prod. You guys know the deal. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you to everybody coming through, commenting, liking, sharing, even disliking. That helps out too. This episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Love you. Appreciate you. And as always, hopefully I see you on the 4th straight edition of a Purple Rain Victory Monday podcast. Stay positive. Test negative.
Yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. This is episode 351 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.